every other week we go cold, and every other week we go ain't want no police, no control, spirit free release from your soul. Every other week we go cold, and every other week we go ain't want no police, no control, spirit free release from your soul.
Come on, people. This is your boy LP with Lorenzo P Photography, and I have some awesome art and photography on my website. You can always check that out by visiting lorenzopphotography.com. I don't get to talk about my paintings much. Painting is something that is very dear to me. When I reflect back, I've dabbled in many mediums: watercolor, charcoal, pencil, color pencil, clay, pottery, all forms of art. But painting was a medium that when I started doing it, I just automatically knew this was the stuff for me. And it wasn't just any painting in general. It was actually acrylic paints that I was really drawn to. We did not have the ability to use oil paints during the time, so we skipped over using oils and we started using acrylics. And what I found, that acrylics are a very forgiving medium. They're easy to work with, they dry fast, and there's so many things that you can do with acrylic. It is a very flexible medium, and this is why I really love painting with it. One of the things I want to do next is quickly break down some of the symbolism in the piece that I'm currently working on. This is a piece of Mahandas Gandhi. We all know that he was symbolically a spiritual leader who led protests in a form of non-violence and with peace. I want to really highlight that. I really love highlighting figures who meant so much for the human race in general. These people have showed a level of humility, a level of sympathy and empathy for just human beings in general. And this is something that is very important to me, and I love to articulate this in my work. A lot of the pieces that I do create are of African American or Aborigine icons, such as Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and just a number of other people that I've created. This is something that is completely out of the realm of what I've been doing, but I felt that it was very important. I have some notes here, so I just wanted to share with you guys. Hopefully you can get a gist of what I'm trying to do and accomplish in this piece. It is unfinished. As I mentioned, I love to repurpose things, so this is some repurposed plywood that I found in a truck shop across the street. It was just laying on the ground. It actually had tire marks and dirt all on it. I brought it home, I cleaned it up, I sanded it down, I wiped it down and gessoed it, and now I started to sketch. Immediately when I was sketching it, I just wanted to paint, but it was 3 o'clock in the morning and I had to get up for work for the next day. So unfortunately I had to stop the flow of energy when I was creating. But as I was creating it, and in the midst of creating, I felt so inspired to just go the full Monty, just go all the way. And I love that, feeling that type of energy. It's sort of like being in the flow state. And if you guys don't know what a flow state is, I would highly recommend you do a little more research about being in a flow state of things. But generally when I'm creating, I'm always in a flow state. Energy is just coming to me, and I'm just finding a way to do my best to translate and transmute that energy onto canvas. So it's coming through to me, and it's being translated or transmuted through my brush onto the canvas. I say in my bio a lot that my work is a cogitation of perseverance, because it facilitates the many transitions that I make as an artist, a human being, and a spiritual being. These are the things that is very important to me, and I just want to be able to vocalize that in my realm of creating. But here are some notes. So I just want to point out some things. I have a red cardinal. If you guys don't know, the spiritual meaning of red cardinals is that they represent love, loyalty, fertility, renewed life. They are spiritual messengers, and they are a bird of passion. And I'm a very, very passionate person. I'm not an angry person or a mean person, but I'm just very passionate, and I'm very, very passionate about the things that I love. I have some lilies. There's a lily that's peeking behind Mahandas Gandhi, and this is going to be somewhat like a very, very bold orange, and the orange stands for happiness, love, and warmth. One of the spiritual meanings of the lilies that I want, one of the spiritual meanings of the lilies that I wanted to include is a biblical quote that really, really stood out and resonated with me. I just want to read that really quick. It's Luke 12:27, and it says, "Consider the lilies, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these." That lends to the speciality of this particular flower and how beautiful it is. So this is something that resonated with me in reading over some biblical terms in regards to the lily, and these are just some of the things that I wanted to point out. Like I said, I don't really get to talk about my pieces. You guys don't really get inside my head when it comes to creating. I just pretty much show you guys the process, but in the process, being inside my head is a part of the process of me creating. So all of these thoughts start coming in my mind, and when they come in my mind, I'm just trying to figure out a way of transmuting or translating those ideas or thoughts onto paper, and then taking that paper and then translating it onto canvas. So that is just a quick spill on my new piece that I'm working on. The Mahandas Gandhi painting is underway. I'm really excited about it. I'm getting a lot of emotions, and I'm feeling very emotionally charged working on this painting. It is a lot of work, so I don't want to rush the process. Taking my time, I'm working thoroughly through each and every part. Sometimes I like to jump around on a piece and do here, but I'm gradually developing each area of the painting and just taking my time, and I'm having a lot of fun. I keep reminding myself of the work, but I love the work. If you do not fall in love with the process of your work, got a long way to go. But I just want to quickly go over my color palette with you guys really quickly. As you can see, it looks very dark in some areas, but there's no black, and there's very, very little use of white. So essentially what I did was gesso the canvas. When I gessoed the canvas, I layered it with a light yellow, and then I started to do my little sketching. I did it in like a red color. I'll show you the pencil right now. So this is what it looks like. I outlined everything in this little red outline, and it gave it a little depth when I started to paint. But like I said, guys, I just really want to go over my color palette with you guys so that you can see some of the colors that I'm using. Number one, we have a burnt sienna. This is where you get the really, really dark browns. A raw sienna. This is the light browns up in this area, stuff like that. We have a cadmium orange. I love this orange. It's bright, it's bold, and it really stands out. We have a cadmium yellow light hue, and we also have a cadmium yellow deep hue. Alizarin crimson hue. This is like a pinkish reddish type of color. A titanium white, crimson red. We also have this really cool cadmium orange hue. We have a light yellow. I showed you guys 4 different brands of paints. My favorite brand by far is the Liquitex, only because it's a heavy body paint. It's very versatile. You can do a lot with it. You can break it down. You can have texture. So I really, really love using the Liquitex colors by far. It's one of my favorite brands. The other brands that I just adopted to using is Atelier. This is a heavy body paint too. It's not as fine as the Liquitex, but it's really, really close to it. I like this brand, and plus it's much more cheaper. The Winsor & Newton is kind of like an in-between, like, you know, not going super professional, but not going really cheap. So this is kind of like an in-between brand. I kind of use this as a filler, not as like the main body of paint. So I like using this stuff as a filler. And the Grumperture is the last company that I use. This is somewhat like an in-between too. I like it because it does have some heavy body qualities to it. However, it's not as fine as the Liquitex. Like I said, the Liquitex is probably my favorite brand of acrylics to use. I probably have a bias with that company and brand only because I've been using it so long. I've been painting for approximately 19 years, and the majority of my work was done with Liquitex. They are an expensive brand, however, they give you the best bang for your buck. Another thing is, it's just a professional grade quality of acrylics that I really
Scammer shots on the beat.
30 hertz straight up.
Scammer shots on the beat.
30 hertz straight up.
Thank you.